Hey guys, today we're going to be continuing Python and today's topic will be variables. So variables are names used to hold one or more values. So the way that you would do this is I'm just going to say a is equal to 3. And when I print a, notice what's going to happen. So it prints out 3 right there. So I assigned a to the integer 3. So there are 4 types of variables. One of them is called string, integers, float, and boolean. So strings are basically text inside the quotation mark. For example, I'm just gonna assign the variable called text is equal to inside the quotation mark. I'm just gonna say the word hello. So what I did was I assigned text to the word hello, and this is a string. So in Python, you don't need to say that this has to be a string, because Python already knows that it's a string. So if you hover over text, it says that it's a str, which basically means string. So integers are basically any number that are not decimals. For example, you could be like 3, 4, 5, 6, -1, -1, -100, and so on. So I can also say for example, I can say like a is equal to 10. Okay, I binded a to the integer 10. So if I hover over a, see, as you can see here, it says int right there. Float is basically any number that is a decimal. So it could be like, I can say around like 8.25, 8.25, 3.14, 2.25 or 35, and so on. So the way that you would, just like an integer, you would do the same thing. So I can assign b equals 8.25, 8.25. And now b is assigned to 8.25. So booleans are basically true or false. So the way that you would assign this is, for example, I can say c is equal to true. Okay, so now I binded c to the word true. So if you're wondering where we're supposed to put true, you will learn this later on. So the word, for example, the place that we put it is like, we can say if like c is found or c equals true, we can do this. Else, if c is not true, we can do something else. So that is very useful to us. So the way that you write variables are basically type any key in your keyboard. For example, I'm just going to say the word hello, and hello equals to, like, let's just say an integer of 2. So now I binded hello to the word 2. And that's a recap right there. So here's the things that you cannot do when you create a variable. So number 1 is you cannot bind a integer. For example, you can't say 9 is binded to 3, or 8 is binded to the string of hello. You cannot do that. And also you cannot do that. It's also the same rule that applies for decimal or floats. So you cannot say like 2.25 is binded to pi. You cannot do that. So number 2 is that you cannot assign a variable. You cannot say something like 9 then say var is equal to 0. You cannot do that. But what you can do is say var 9 is equal to 0. You can do that, but you cannot do this method. So this is wrong and this is correct. Okay? And number 3 is you cannot say like true is equal to is assigned to the string of hello. You cannot do that. Or you can also say false is equal to hello. You cannot do that. Okay? You cannot assign a string to any other string or integer or float or boolean. So you cannot say like hello is binded to 3. You cannot do that. But what you can do is say hello is equal to 3. So this one is wrong, and this one is right. So here's an example of where we can use variables. So I just put a really short story, so let's just read this really quick. So it says Tim is reading a book, Tim is 20 years old, Tim is playing basketball, and Tim slept. So let's just say that I want to change Tim to, let's just say, Bob. So what I have to do is go manual to the print. So Bob is reading. I have to change this again. Bob is 20 years old, and Bob is playing basketball, and Bob slept. And that took like, let's say, around 10 seconds. It's not really efficient. So with variables, I can do this much quicker. So let's just assign a variable that says name, okay? So name is binded to an empty string of Jack, okay? So now we binded name to Jack right now. So now what we're going to do is learn concatenation. What we have to do is concatenate the name with the print statement right here. And basically concatenate basically means where you can add two strings together. So the way that you do this is, first I'm going to delete Bob really quick. So Bob. Okay. So Bob. So what I can do is put name right here. So name and plus. So what that plus does is it adds this string and this string right here. So name plus and name plus. Okay, so when we run the code right now, it says Jack is reading a book, Jack is 20 years old, Jack is playing basketball, and now Jack slept. So now if I were to change name to, let's just say, Percy, okay, Percy. Now when we run code, now it changed. So it says Percy is reading a book, Percy is 20 years old, Percy is playing basketball, and Percy slept. So with using variables, I was able to change the whole storyline in like 2 seconds. So that is where variables come in very efficient usage. If you like this video, please hit the like button as well as subscribe to my channel, because I'm doing more Python tutorials in the future, like if and else statements, for loops, while loops, and many other basic stuffs. So see you soon.